Like pretty much we run the same system. It's just I think about mine a lot, and you
I just turn up.
do it. Yeah.
I just turn up.
That's it. Welcome back to the weekly podcast. Rob. Oh no, we're supposed to introduce ourselves first. I'm that David.
I'm that Rob.
And what we're talking about today?
Work-life balance.
Oh, that's a tricky one. Everyone's just tuned in now, and they're literally like, what we're going to hear in this? Some absolute masterclass in work-life balance, because obviously it looks like on the daily vlog we've got this down to a T.
Yeah, but looks can be deceiving.
Yeah, we look like we know what we're doing.
we look like we come here, do some hours work, and then we go home and do our thing. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Work-life balance, right. This is a massive topic. I think it's always a hot topic, or just people are always trying to find this balance in work-life balance. People were trying to find it before the big C thing took 2 years away from everybody.
yeah,
Then that happened and people started working from home and stuff, and they were like, hang on, I think I've got closer to this work-life balance myth, because a lot of people now are working from home and they are finding some form of balance, or a better balance.
yeah.
I think work-life balance, there isn't a one-size-fits-all. It's very much what's important to you and what do you need to do to be able to do the things that are important to you.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think
Please subscribe.
Yeah, it's the end of no. So yeah, I think that made a massive difference to how everybody worked. Like if you look how many people started a business in that time, like how many people went into like either doing some sort of like side hustle project or went into just a full-fledged self-employed thing that they started in that time, or actually had the time to put into it, and then that ties into the work-life balance because they're like, oh, cool, look, I can do this, that, the other, and I'm at home more, and like, I think that changed a lot of people's perceptions on things.
Yeah. There's that meme thing that's been going around, isn't there, as well, that I've seen loads of times over the last couple of years about I worked 9 to 5, but I wanted a better work-life balance, so I started my own business. Now I work 24/7.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
definitely
that
is
too.
true. So I've actually got a strategy, my strategy that I focused on for 2022 to achieve what is my version of work-life balance. So I'll run you through this and see what you think.
Okay.
You already know it, but these don't.
I
So
got
basically what I did was, 2022's coming up. I knew that we were moving in here. I knew that we were kicking off growing a business, a brand, and all the rest of it, and all the things that come along with that. But what I did was I wanted some form of balance where I'd left a full-time job where I felt like I was working loads of hours and literally getting no home life balance. The life bit were out the window. It was all work. So coming into this, I thought, right, it's going to be very easy for me to literally get up at 6 a.m, come into the office and go home at like 8 p.m. I could easily do that, no problem. Because I'm hyped for this business anyway. I know I could do it. But this isn't the only thing that's important to me. I've got a family. I got 4 kids, a wife, and they need attention.
Believe it or not.
Yeah. It's like you know you have to look after them and stuff, and like talk to them.
See
and,
them.
Yeah, it's weird. But no. So when 22 were coming up, I thought, listen, this is going to be very difficult to get this right, because you've got to also put enough work in to become successful.
Yeah.
So I decided to write down. I got in my Apple Notes. I love Apple Notes. I got in my Apple Notes and I thought, right, what's important to me? Life is important. Family is important. So wife, kids, spending time with them is important. Work is important.
Yeah.
Creating the vlog, editing the vlog every single day, I find is important. I suppose that comes under work. And also downtime is important, because if I don't fit any downtime in, like that.
I think that's where most people go wrong as well, is not giving themselves enough time, well, downtime, not giving themselves enough time to just unwind. I think we've touched on it maybe in the last podcast. I think we mentioned it.
I can't remember a word I said in the last one.
Yeah, no, it was a week ago. Literally, we filmed it a week ago as well, as well as going out. Yeah, I think we touched on it slightly there, the downtime side of things. And yeah, I think weeks on end, particularly, it all adds up and you just don't chill out. And without that, obviously, you're not performing at your best. So even though you're like, oh yeah, I'm in full work mode, you're not necessarily giving full work mode because you're just so bogged down in it, like you haven't come out of it.
It's like where you're busy rather than productive.
Yeah,
because you're not really
busy being busy.
Yeah. So that's a really good point to make. So once I'd got those things in place, I then thought, right, there's 24 hours sleep. Oh, yeah, is yeah. So I value my sleep as well because not to keep banging on about the fitness stuff, but it has taught me a lot about the other areas of my life. Like you have to be disciplined, you have to be well rested, you have to be fueled. And I thought, well, if you have to be all these things to go and perform at the gym, I probably have to be these things all round in life. If I'm not well rested and well fueled, I'm, like you just said, you're rendered useless, really. Like, you're not going to be able to put in 100% and what have you. You're not going to be focused. So once I've got these things down, like this, I've got 24 hours a day. Let's say we start midnight. I'm going to be asleep at midnight or 4 midnight through to 7 a.m., give or take. I got a 2-year-old. Sometimes she wakes up and it's 6. Sometimes it's before 7. Sometimes it's about 7. On average, because this is all to be taken with a pinch of salt, given an hour here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
So midnight till 7, sleep time, well rested, try and get 7 hours. I think I perform well on 6, roughly for me.
Yeah,
which
well,
is
it's different for everyone, isn't it?
It's different for everyone. 6 is my optimum, I reckon. So if I give myself 7 hours to squeeze in 6 hours, I'm usually good. Then I get up, then I spend whatever time I get up until 10 a.m. to do getting up and having breakfast, getting ready for the day. And that's where, on the days where I do go to the gym, I try and have it all done by 10 o'clock. I want to be in the office for 10. Then that's where work starts. 10 until 4:45 p.m., because then I have commitments at 5 p.m., is work mode. Now, if I've had my 6 hours and then I've got up and I've had a good breakfast, I've even maybe seen the kids if they're awake, and I've been to the gym, that gives me energy for the day. I'm on fire now. So work, in theory, when I stick to this, I should smash work. So I smash work. Then it gets to 5. I get home for about 5:15. I get home about 5:30-ish. Then for 3 hours or till about 8 p.m, I'll very much we'll have tea, play Fortnite with Corbin, play around with Blake. Family time is what that time is. That's where I squeeze the family time in. Then when it gets to 8 p.m, it's vlog time. And it can take me anything from 2 to 4 hours for the vlog. So that varies. If the vlog or anything else happens, like we did networking last night, so I got home later, the vlog is priority late in the evening. After that is then where I fit in Netflix with Danetta or Warzone with the boys. And then that's my downtime. We get to midnight, sleep again. I know that's a lot of information. That's how I do it. We're now February 17th. So I've been doing that since the turn of the year, and it's working for me. But that's a lot of information. Over to you. Because I'm knackered now.
Yeah, to be fair, mine's a lot more relaxed. So mine's not got like... Yours is very hour-based. And like you say, give or take a little bit, depending on what's happening. You can't do much about that. Whereas mine's a general... There's a similarity, there's a pattern. So... Obviously, I've got a child, he's nearly 3, so he goes to childminders during the week. So my day generally starts somewhere between 7 and 8. He's quite lazy, so doesn't really prioritise getting up. Yeah, he doesn't really prioritise getting up. It means when he's going to bed, it's a bit harder, but getting up is not his top of his agenda. But that means that we'll get up, have breakfast, put TV on for a little bit or something. Childminder picks him up. When he's on the school run, or she's on the school run, picks him up somewhere between 9, 9:30. Again, pinch of salt on that one. So I'm generally in for about 10. So that coincides with your plan. So we're both here usually about 10 to 10, to be fair. It's usually just before 10. So yeah, full work mode. Obviously, you've got your commitments come 4:45. So have I. I've got to pick him up from childminders at 5.
Like we were meant to be,
so
innit?
It's inadvertently a very same plan.
Yeah.
And then, the evening, very much a bit of family time. Obviously, Jody comes home from work, we have some tea, put him to bed, watch some TV. Like, Jody goes to bed earlier than I do, so that's when I get on to Warzone. Or something, FIFA, I don't know, whichever's popular that day.
It's not really important. We've just made out it's important for our own mental well-being. I just want to play Warzone.
I'm not even very good at Warzone. I just play.
Neither am I.
I'd rather play FIFA, but then I lose that as well now. So all the people that don't have to come to work, the ones that batter me like 4-0, takes the fun out of it. But it's very similar sort of times, because I probably tend to go to bed about 12ish, 11, 12ish, and then up again between 7 and 8. So I mean, they're very similar plans, but I'd say yours feels stricter because you've got like hours set on it. Yeah. Whereas like mine is very.
You kind of fall into my plan naturally, whereas I very much have to. I feel that for me, it just works in my brain. I have to discipline myself. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm all over. Like if I didn't have to. I mean, I don't have to leave at 4:45, but I want to, because it's when Danetta's mum finishes work at 5, and I like to pick her up and take her home, and that's a thing that I just like doing. But I like doing it, and it obviously helps her out, as well as it helps keep me structured. And I don't want to get in a situation again where I lose track of time, because you know what it's like. If you're like, well, I suppose it could be anything. You could do any type of job. I was going to say if you're like a creator and you're editing and stuff, but I get lost in edits. If I started editing something, I could look at my watch and be like, shit, it's 10 to 6. And then all of a sudden I'm not getting home till 20 past, 6:30. And then Blake's going to sleep half an hour after that or whatever, and then all of a sudden I've had no family time, or I've missed my tea and it's in microwave, and then I probably won't be happy. So it's like I need to keep these disciplined times, because I know that I could stray a bit too far away from the path if I were just left to my own devices. And then I'd feel bad, because obviously I want to see my children on an evening. But I suppose it actually sounds a bit weird that I designate time for family. But if I didn't, but this is another bit of the conversation I want to talk about, though, is I'd like to just stay at home and chill like all day and like play Fortnite with Corbin and like get my makeup done by Blake and stuff like that. But it's like you have to go to work, so I've got to like put time somewhere, and we are the boss. Like that's probably worth talking about for a couple of minutes, because we don't have we're not actually employees. We work for ourselves. That's why for me I feel I have to be more disciplined with myself, because I haven't got to clock in at 9 a.m. and clock out at 5 p.m. So it's like, well, I've got to put something in place, otherwise what do I do? Because like I say, I love my job as well, so I could literally work from the minute I open my eyes to close them on a night. Yeah.
I'd swing this system. I was thinking a few minutes ago that I'd probably try and steer towards a topic of, I think sometimes it also comes down to you as a person. So since like day one, I've been really laid back with most things, like, which if you are a laid back person, it's really quite easy to just go, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do it next week. Like, so there's obviously an element of having a bit of drive, and I think you find your drive in other places. So you find yours, or it sounds like you find yours very much in, right, this is the structure I need to follow to achieve everything the best, and that's how I'm going to work best, because these are my allotted times to do these things.
And it's a lot of self-awareness where I know how my body feels at different parts of the day, so I've structured my day.
It's just your time to that, hand in hand.
That's it.
Whereas like mine, it has a structure, but it's not like a set in stone structure. It just happens, that's the way it works, and it happens to coincide with your plans. Like, and if it didn't, I mean, I'd probably find a way to coincide it, even though it still wouldn't be as regimented, structured. Yeah. So for me, I think the biggest thing on that is doing something you enjoy. I've done years of work in retail, which I'm not going to knock. Like, I obviously enjoyed it at one point. To do it for so long, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't have done it for years. Like, there's obviously ups and downs as there's with anything, but there comes a point when if you're going to trade off like 7-8 hours of your day every day from the things that you think, oh yeah, I really like doing this, what else can I do to fund this? Yes. Oh, I'm going to do something I enjoy. But then it doesn't feel like you're necessarily going to work because you're enjoying it and the money's a bonus.
The fact this is work is a joke.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? To be fair. But I think that's an important thing for me, is very much that. So now I'm doing something I enjoy. I enjoy doing the stuff at home. So I don't necessarily need the regimented stuff.
Yeah.
Because no matter what I'm doing the stuff I enjoy.
Yeah.
So everything's a win, and that's a different drive. So rather than going, oh, this is the work time, which it is the work time. It's not like it's work time.
Yeah.
It's work time. What we're doing today? Oh, cool. We're gonna film a podcast, and we're gonna go and meet this client, and then we're gonna do this, that, and the other.
Today. You were sat in the back of my boot in the car while I was driving, and you're filming hanging out the back of the boot.
It's not something you do every day, is it?
And I suppose that's this. There's probably two conversations, or this can be split into two different parts. This, because we're coming at it from a point of, I'm very big on self-awareness, mental well-being, and I almost like treat my physical and mental health as they're both equally important, and I really work on them, and I figure out, how does my body work? How does my body feel? How does my mind work? How does my mind feel? And then I've built this structure for myself that then also fits in. These are all the important things. If I go to bed at night and I know, I've enjoyed seeing the kids for a little bit tonight, I've enjoyed my day at work, it's much easier to get up the next day and do it all over again. I think there's another string to this, or another conversation to this, for probably most people, the majority of people don't necessarily like their job, or they don't feel a joy. They're very much, it's Monday morning, yay, it's Friday, those types of people, which I very much was, and was for years. And I assume in a lot of your work, it might not necessarily be Monday and Friday, but I've got to go to bloody work.
Yeah, it's the start of the week, end of the week.
Yeah, so for people that are like that, I don't know if we've got any advice we can think of off the top of my head, but like trying to figure out a way of enjoying your job, or at least bullshitting yourself into knowing that it's a necessity. Like you've got to do something for, on average, 8 hours a day, that then, like you just said, funds the other stuff that you do outside of the 8 hours a day. Yeah. And the reason why I do it so regimented as well is, when you break your day into like 3 lots of 8 hours, is that right? 8, 16, 24. Yeah. You realise, like, well, if I sleep for 8 hours and I have a full-time job, which is generally 8 hours, I've got 8 whole other hours every single day to like be doing something. So if you are in a situation where you like don't like your job and you want to learn you could use that time to learn a new skill, which then turns into a new career. Or you could learn that time to use a skill you already have to build a new career, and you can kind of morph your way out of that way. And then maybe this work-life balance thing becomes more achievable because, like we've discussed, you're doing something that you actually like. I don't know if you've got any advice for people that are kind of like, I'm not really into my job, to be fair, so it's hard to find a work-life balance.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd go down the route of sort of some of my like previous thoughts is probably the best way to frame it, of like, all right, I'm doing this, as in like working in retail, which is fine. It's a bit boring. It's not what I want to be doing, but what do I want to be doing? Right, I want to be doing video, I want to be doing photography. Okay, cool. How do I get there? Like, that's what I want to do. What are the steps I need to take to get to that point?
Yeah.
Do I need to learn how to use a camera? Yes. Right, cool.
That would help.
I've learned that bit. Now what do I need to do? I need to work out how I get paid to do this. Right, now I'm going to know how to do that. So you follow the steps. That's when that extra time comes into play, and using it wisely as to what you want to do. And I had the benefit in some ways of the job I was in was quite flexible, which is a pro and a con, because you wouldn't necessarily be doing an 8-hour day. You sometimes have a 6-hour day, or sometimes it'd be like a 5-hour day, or if it was quiet, it'd be like, oh, you got a 6-hour day, but we need someone to finish early. Who wants to go home early? And I'll take it. What do you do at time then? So if you've got an 8-hour day and you go home 4 hours early, you're losing 4 hours worth of pay. What do you do in that 4 hours? Do you just go and enjoy it, which is fine, if that's what you want to do? Mm-hmm. Do you use it to better yourself, to move to the next step we want to do? And I think it's just working out yourself as to where you want to take yourself and using your time efficiently that way.
Yeah.
Because the way I looked at it was, okay, I'm losing 4 hours pay, but what I'm going to learn, it's eventually going to be more than 4 hours pay. So on a monetary value, that's covered, even though it's not instant impact.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel it in time to come, which I have. So, I mean, it's worked for me.
Yeah.
And that's how I'd look at it.
Yeah, definitely. There's another thing that I often think about as well. Like, I suppose it comes under work-life balance, but there's this thing that I have about input and output. So basically, I use a scale of 1 to 10, and if you got to think about what you want as well, because to keep it on the work-life balance thing, you got to think, what do you want? Because you might be happy with a life that's like 5 out of 10 in your point of view, or you're like, listen, I've got enough hours in my day spare to put a 5 effort into something else.
Yeah.
But you got to understand you'll only get a 5 return.
Yeah.
You can't put a 5 effort in and get a 10 out of 10 return. So you kind of need to figure out when it comes to work-life balance and the extra hours you've got and where you want to go, and if you enjoy your job, you just got to find out what you want to put a 10 out of 10 effort into to get a 10 out of 10 result. So you can have like a little because this is another thing as well. I'm trying to keep it on because I really like talking about this input output sort of stuff, and I'm trying to relate it to the work-life balance, because for me it's like, I understand that at work I'm giving myself, so that I can have the outside of work stuff, family time, plenty of sleep, gym, breakfast time in the morning and stuff. Yeah. I know that then that might mean the only hours I've got in the day aren't necessarily a 10 for what I could do at work.
Yeah. So
it might only be an 8, if this makes sense. Stick with me. But then I'm willing to say, listen, I know I can only work from 10 a.m. till 4:45 p.m., and that's only an 8 out of 10 of my day's effort, but I'm okay with the 8 out of 10 results. I'm okay with the results that'll get me. And it's about being realistic, is what I'm trying to get at, about the results that you get from it. Because we could get better results if we both said, we'll be in here 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. every single day. We'd get bigger results, or results quicker.
Yeah.
And so that where I use the scale is, but I don't want to do that, because then that means I'm getting no family time, I'm getting no gym time, no downtime, not enough sleep. So it's basically about figuring out where you want to exert yourself, where you want to put certain amounts of effort, and be realistic with what those results get you.
Yeah.
Does that make any fucking sense? It does in my head. It's working.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. It does make sense.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't want to add to it, to be fair. Like,
no,
it does make sense though.
Yeah, because like I say, just we could get bigger results or quicker results if we put more work in. But then that means I'm getting less somewhere else, and that's where I was trying to link it with the whole work-life balance thing. Because then my balance is off.
I think it ties in with me today, because I think last night Oscar was awake for quite a while. Like, he was up during the night. So this morning, I think my alarm went off about 8 o'clock. And I think I woke up about 10 to 8. And I woke up and I was like, I'm tired. I've got a bit of a headache because I've not slept well. And we didn't need to be anywhere till like 10:30. So I think I messaged you and was like, I'm just going an extra half hour because I'm going to feel better. And so I think I had an extra 45 minutes to an hour in the end.
You ended up taking piss, yeah.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Still here on time. But like, if I'd got up and been like, right, I'm up now, like, let's go for it, because I've got to do the work, like, I'd had a headache, I'd have been like tired, like, I'd probably be sat here now just like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, less productive,
sleep,
less focused. You'd be less sharp in the mind, especially when you're having conversations like this. You've got to be like pretty, think on your feet.
Well, and the fact we're out with the client for like 2 hours earlier as well.
Yeah.
Like, the last thing I'll be doing up was turning up and being like, oh, I've got a headache, I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's my fault. Well, it's not necessarily my fault, it's indirectly. But got that ability. Whereas if it was obviously a normal job, it'd be like, oh, you got to be here for 9 regardless. But then my output on an actual job would be less than if I would come in an hour later, because I'd had an extra hour's sleep, which I've done today, and feel 10 times better than I would have done if I'd just got up and been like, oh, I've got to go to work now. Yeah. But again, that comes down to me as a person.
Yeah. But that's good. We're putting ourselves in a position to be able to have this flexibility, which I suppose goes back to what we were discussing earlier in the episode about people's working habits have changed now. They are getting a lot more flexible. Flexible working's becoming more of a thing now. It isn't just I know we relate to 9 to 5. I know there's people that like working the care industry and different things, and they have different shifts. But when we say 9 to 5, obviously we just mean like whatever your normal working pattern is.
Yeah.
And there's people that are working these normal patterns and that don't have the ability to be able to be flexible, but more people are being able to be flexible than ever before, and I think that is allowing people to have that better work-life balance.
Yeah,
but I think we've got. Sorry, go on.
Like I say, last thing I can think of is the things like, oh yeah, we're gonna try like a 4-day work week, and other countries that do that sort of thing. I think it's definitely becoming more normal to take into account that. Yeah, the 9 to 5, 5 days a week isn't necessarily the best system for everybody. It is for some people, and some people like to do more, some people like to do a bit less. So I think finding whatever you're the most productive at and going with, if you can do so, is the best way to give the best output on what you want to do.
Yeah, 100%. That's us talking about work-life balance. It's difficult, and it's a work in progress. It's something I literally... Obviously, it sounds like I'm very, very disciplined, very regimented and stuff, and I am, but I wake up every single day thinking about it, and I go to sleep every single night thinking about it. I'm always like trying to organise myself, and a lot of brain power and energy goes into how can I maximise my productivity at work and at home. This isn't even just about work. Work-life balance tends to, like we have, I suppose, go down the work side, and we talk less about the life side. But it's because you've got to do the work to be able to have the life, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd all just be sat home or going off on holiday and doing whatever we wanted. But yeah, that's work-life balance. I've got my own little system. You've got your system that's very similar, but slightly more from a laid-back mindset. Like pretty much we run the same system. It's just I think about mine a lot, and
I just turn up,
do it. Yeah,
I just turn up.
That's it. So yeah, I'd love to know though, what tips have you got? Bang them in the comments. Let us know what's going on. How do you achieve work-life balance, or what issues do you find when thinking about your work-life balance? Does anyone want to copy my routine for a little bit and see how it works for you? I don't know. Let us know.
Yeah.
Peace out.
And any future topics, anything you want to hear more on, obviously let us know in the comments, and it's something we can look forward to discuss in the future.
Yeah. And bloody subscribe to the channel. There's loads of people watch and like don't subscribe. Just subscribe. It's free. Just press subscribe. Right, where's the button? Yeah. I don't know what camera I'm on or where we'll be. Subscribe's probably down here somewhere. Like, just press it. Stop pissing about.
And if you're on TV, you got to look a bit more, but it's still there.
Yeah, just go on your phone and just press subscribe. I'm trying not to like proper swear.
Yeah, because it doesn't say that bit. It just says subscribe.
Does it? Listen, if you're watching us on TV, thanks, because we're probably massive in your living room right now. However, go on your phone and press subscribe. Thank you.
End of pod.